Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video we'll be exploring Dutch's history before the events of Predator. I've already talked about what happened to him after his rescue, and if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video so you guys can check out some of the history and explanation after the events of the film. Dutch has always been my favorite character of the entire Predator franchise, and in the original film there are a lot of subtle yet interesting comments about his past military engagements and friendship with both Dylan and Jim Hopper. So Major Alan Doug Schaefer had been at one time a high school football star, and after leaving college, he attended U.S. Army boot camp with Jim Hopper in 1967, while his brother left to join the NYPD. After completing his training, he was deployed to Vietnam and met Al Dillon, while the pair saw action at Da Nang. On one fateful mission, Dutch was captured at the hands of the Viet Cong and brutally tortured for days. This led to him eventually becoming resistant to many forms of pain. When the war in Vietnam ended, Dutch later served in various Special Forces units, again reuniting with Jim Hopper. One such mission was in Malaysia, in which both men survived after being nearly killed. Towards the end of that year, he led operations in Thailand with Dylan yet again, and due to their service, the men received matching lighters which held a great deal of personal significance. When Dutch left the army in 1980, he decided to start his own private military company, recruiting other veterans. Eventually Blaine, Mac, Hawkins, Billy, and Poncho joined his special rescue unit. His newly formed Special Ops team saw combat in Angola, Cambodia, Lebanon, and Afghanistan. These experiences forged the men into an incredibly effective search and rescue team, proving useful for the operation ahead in Val Verde. Their last operation before the events of Predator was dealing with a terrorist siege at the Sudanese embassy in Berlin. Dutch's team was able to assault the building and eliminate all 7 of the terrorists in just under 10 seconds. The operation was so swift and deadly that it went completely unnoticed by the media, and the terrorists were dead before even calling in their demands. As effective as Dutch's team was, he never accepted a mission in which the primary objective was elimination of enemy units. He stood by his code that his men were a rescue team and not assassins, hence why he passed on the operation Dylan proposed in Libya. The last operation Dutch and his men carried out was in Central America, in which they encountered the jungle hunter after the mission became compromised. So that's all of Dutch's history prior to the events of the film Predator. It's a shame that we haven't been able to see him in any of the subsequent films, but it might be for the best, as his character never felt like the Ripley of the franchise. He was just sort of the main character in the original film because he never came back for any of the sequels, even though he was offered Predator 2 to star alongside Danny Glover, but he ultimately passed to go film the Terminator sequel with James Cameron. According to rumors, he was set to cameo in the upcoming Predator film from Shane Black, but he turned it down after having read the script. What's your favorite Dutch or Dylan moment from the original Predator film? Leave your thoughts down below. As always, thank you for watching, and if you want to follow us on social media, all the links are in the description box, and if you want to see more content like this and help support the channel, check out our Patreon page, which has been recently revamped. The links are in the description box down below, and for all the latest content on the Alien and Predator universe, subscribe to Hybrid Network.